If you're anything like me, you probably have folders and folders of unfinished projects, ambitious ideas, and tons of things you just never got around to doing because it's a super common problem and it plagues everybody. I've been playing guitar since 2005 and I didn't really start releasing songs seriously until 2018. And I'm one of the lucky ones. I have a folder with nearly 400 unfinished projects. I have folders on every computer I've ever touched. And even now, I've released over 70 something songs on Spotify, and I still record way more than ever sees the light of day. But I wouldn't say I really have this problem anymore. I'm able to reliably finish songs. My issue now is more on the polishing side and trying to push forward on new techniques or try things that I've never tried before. It's a really good place to be, honestly, and I want to help you guys get there too. So whether you're just starting out in music production or you're a veteran who's got some writer's block, this video should hopefully help you to be able to get your songs over that finish line and into that finished state. Also, apologies in advance, this video is going to be a little bit more just talking head monologue-y because I don't feel like doing a lot of editing. I don't want to do it. Alright, tip number 1, sprint to the end. When we were in school, there was a reason that teachers would tell us to complete a first draft and then work on other drafts after that. And the reason being is that when you have all of your ideas laid out in front of you, and you've got everything that you're going to be saying, you shift the job away from writing new stuff to editing what's already there. And that's a really, really good thing. It is painfully easy to get lost in the weeds of editing as you go and trying to like perfectly polish your mix or your kick drum or your snare. You can spend a lot of time on that. But instead, if you just sit down and dedicate yourself to just, I'm getting from point A to point B and nothing else, you'll end up finding that it's actually a lot easier than you think. Do not edit as you go. Do not do all this pre-planning and stuff. When you sit down to write/record a song, move as fast as humanly possible for you. Get something down. It doesn't need to be great. It doesn't need to be perfect. You're just trying to get something down so that you have something to go back to later. It doesn't need to be final. It doesn't need to be great. It doesn't even need to be musical. I legit just put a bass drum playing over and over and over just so I can go back to it later because I have some idea of what I'm going to put there. But I just want to get the whole thing sketched out so I can look at it from a bird's eye view, essentially. Copy and paste to your heart's content here. The only objective is to get all the pieces on the board so you can figure out where they need to go. This is the same principle about why like animated movies are storyboarded or why you write a script before you pick up your camera and start filming. You need to have some idea of what the final product looks like before you start editing, color grading, and doing your VFX. Tip number 2, templates. I went an embarrassingly long time without ever using templates. I am now a huge advocate of reusing stuff you've already done. If you've set up all of your drum routing with Invasion or Easy Drummer, there's no reason you need to scrap that and start over every time on a new project. You've already done the work, so just copy and paste it into a new project every time or learn how to use your DAW's template system. It really makes the music production portion of things a lot faster because you're not redoing work you've already done. And that cuts out a lot of the things that might make you feel a little bit daunted when you start out. The other thing too is as you improve your mixing skills and your production skills, your templates can grow along with you. When I have a mix I like, I tend to actually name it the date that I did that mix. And I actually keep a log of them as I keep them, I carry them from computer to computer so I can go back and look to see like how I've improved over time or what were my tastes back then or what did I think sounded good back then. It's pretty cool to go see how your skills evolve over time. Also, let's talk about confidence for a second. Confidence is built by doing the same thing over and over and over and achieving similar results. As you settle into a good workflow for you, templates can inspire a lot of confidence and it makes the music production process less daunting as you go on because you know you can reach that same result again and again and again. It's very easy to do something you've already done, so why not do it? Tip number 3 is deadlines. We often despise deadlines in our life because it puts this pressure on us that can lead to burnout or some like self-defeating thoughts. But the key with deadlines is that they need to be manageable deadlines. If you've never finished a song before, starting out and saying, all right, I'm going to start and finish a song by today. You might be able to do it, but if you're watching this video, you probably haven't been able to do it. The key here is you need to make your goal away from just finishing a song and pare it down to, I'm going to finish the bass line for that verse, or I'm going to get rid of these placeholder drums and put something else in. Make your goal very, very small. The smaller the goal, the easier it is to achieve. You don't climb a mountain just by jumping from the bottom to the top. You have to take a bunch of steps. Every song includes all of those steps. So until you take all those steps, you're not going to get to the point of having a finished song. If you sit down with the intention of only spending 15 minutes on something, you'll very often end up sitting there for an hour or two working on that thing, and that's a net win. Step number 4 is cheating. If all of the music production stuff seems daunting, I get it. Finishing a song requires so many skills. You gotta be able to do production, you gotta mix it, you gotta master it.
Some roast beef, some chicken, a pizza.
It's okay to go grab a reference track and see what the hell they did. Look at what they did and use their solution to solve your problem. If you absolutely cannot for the life of you think, what am I gonna do for this verse part? Go find a song that sounds kind of similar to what you're doing and see what they did. Don't just copy and paste it, that's plagiarism. But analyze what they did. You have these skills as a musician to do this. You have the entirety of human creation at your fingertips, so why not use it? Think about the music that you like and the music you want to make and how it makes you feel, and try to get to that same destination. But find your own voice in doing it. Good artists borrow, great artists plagiarize from enough sources where you can't tell who they stole from. Tip number 5 is to identify your weaknesses. For a lot of people, there's like one or two things stopping them from finishing their songs. It's oftentimes something like, oh, I don't like my voice, or no one's gonna care about this, or I have so many ideas I want to work on. These are common feelings we all have, and we all deal with them. But the ones who are able to push through those feelings are the ones that end up finishing songs. They find a way, just like you have. If I can't sing, I'll auto-tune my voice or sing in a style that doesn't require me to be on pitch, like death metal. Or I'll hire a singer or use a Vocaloid. If I feel like no one's gonna care about my music anyway, then why am I nervous to put it out? You know, maybe just make music just for your mom, or just for your brother, or just for you. A lot of people deal with having tons of ideas and not having much focus. The only solution is to try to hunker down and get it done. And that might mean, you know, maybe I don't work on a movie, a script.
Some roast beef, some chicken.
If you have a phone or you have a computer, you have a microphone and you have software available to you. The only limits nowadays that are stopping you are things like time, knowledge, and ambition, all of which are somewhat in your control. So I'd recommend identifying what is stopping you and thinking critically about why you are stopping because of that thing. Are you not motivated enough on the idea you're working on? Well, what is motivating you right now? What is the music you're putting on? What is the subject matter that interests you? And gravitate there. It's okay to shift focus from one project to another. But if the goal is finishing a song, you know, you need to get that one project done. If you feel like you're lacking the skills you need to make music, you can simplify the process a lot more. You can cheat. You can do things like go download loops. You know, Cymatics has built an entire industry around people grabbing loops and using them. It's okay to do that. I give you permission. If you feel like you can't play the saxophone, go download a saxophone. Just draw in the notes. It's okay to do that. Now, if there's a physical issue stopping you, like you got eye strain, carpal tunnel, ADHD, or focus issues, or something else, you gotta take the accommodations you need. Do things like lowering the brightness, take more breaks, get more ergonomic equipment, break things down even further, and just record yourself humming melodies and send it off to someone for them to record it. There are tons of up-and-coming composers who are always looking for a challenge, and they're looking for portfolio work just like that. Find your specific weaknesses and conquer them. And one thing I'll say is, a lot of music making comes down to compromising on your vision. You know, when we all set out with these grand plans of, oh, I'm going to do a concept album that spans 3 different albums and there's going to be all the songs lead into each other. Those things are hard to do, and they're sometimes bigger chunks than we can really bite off at once. When I was recording the album Mark of Cain, I really wanted it to be this thing where there was a coherent story throughout, you know, every song, and it was the same character, like kind of reliving and embodying in different iconic horror characters. And it was, as I went on with the album and the plot got more convoluted, the idea really just wasn't working. But I just pushed through and released it anyway, because why not? You know, there's always another, you can always get another try at stuff like that, and that's okay. It is okay to put out a product that is subpar, because you always have the chance to do it again later on. Like when you get a dozen dedicated fans, they'll understand. They'll want to hear you put out more stuff, believe me. When you've got those dozens of listeners who will really get what you're doing, they'll be happy to see you give it another go. One other thing I'll say is not everyone works in the same way. There are some people that just sit down on a computer for 14 hours and just crank through the entire process, and they'll get an entire album done. There are other people that, you know, it takes them months to get through things, and because they have to, you know, they're bouncing around all these kind of projects, and they'll get the bass line for this song done one day, they'll get the drums done for this song the other day. Those are both valid approaches. I've tried both of those things, and I've finally found a workflow that works for me. I really like sitting down and, you know, picking away at songs over time. I come up with an initial idea that I'm really captivated by, and I will sketch it out in literally Notepad. I'll write lyrics usually in a day or two, and then the next day is like spent, you know, coming up with the parts that catch my ear. As you get better at this process and you get more experience recording and finishing songs, it's pretty fun, honestly, to play around with how you choose to do things. When you're not nervous about, can I finish a song, you know, your mind kind of frees up to, all right, what can I do differently with the ending of this song? Or how can I start these songs differently? Or how can I put something cool that links these 4 songs together? You know, you start thinking in different terms, and it's really rewarding, and it's hard to get to that point. I believe that you can do it if you follow some of these steps. I really wish I had resources like this when I was starting out. I mean, I think back when I was learning guitar, it was 2005, and YouTube was barely a thing back then. And it was starting to pick up slack when I started, but there weren't videos like this of people talking about how to get through some of these problems. That's all I really have to say about this. I hope this helped someone. It's an issue a lot of people struggle with. I really wish someone had consolidated these ideas when I was first starting out. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and leave a comment if you have strategies for finishing songs that you think might help others. And don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in more content like this. Thanks for watching. Until next time.